Hello students, welcome to Royal Palace PU College Jamkhandi online classes. My name is Sanjay sir and I'll be teaching you biology. We are in the chapter called as PUC second year chapter number 14, the ecosystem. Today we'll be studying one topic called as the succession. To start succession, we need to be a little familiar about some of the basic explanations or basic examples of our nature. Let us take an example of a pond, and in that pond a duck family. It contains a father, a mother and two children. Now in this case the total population of this family is only 4. After some days or after some weeks, we can say that from 4 to they became 5, they became 6, they became 8. Now this from becoming 4 to 8 is called as increase in population size, and we say that this is one of the sequential step. Sequence is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4 or 4, 3, 2, 1. It is a numbered structure which can be increased or it can be decreased. Now along with that, from this sequential, at a time from 1 week or 2 weeks itself, I am not at all saying that within 2 weeks or 3 weeks there is compulsory production of 8 ducklings. No, that is not at all the point here. I am saying that there is a production of another member in the duck family from 4 to 5 and from 5 to 6. This is one sequential analysis, and these are growing gradually. Gradually means step by step, not at all at a time. After that, I am saying another point, that it is one of the predictable point. What do you mean by predictable? Predictable means I can imagine it, I can assume it, that from 4 they can become 6 after 2 weeks or 3 weeks. From 6 they can become 8 after 1 month or 2 months. It is one of the predictable change. Okay, so I am saying 3 words here. Point number 1, that it is a sequential change, it is a gradual change, and the third one is it is a predictable change. It is happening in the family or in the population of ducks. I can go for the same example by taking a toad or a frog family in the same pond itself. I can give some of the numbers wherein which I can say that there is an increase in the population of frogs of that family, and it is a sequential, it is a gradual one, and it is a predictable one. So if I compare 3 to 4 families or 3 to 4 populations of different species of organisms, it becomes one community. You already know about it. So let us go to the definition of ecological succession. What is the meaning of it? The sequential, the gradual, the predictable changes in the composition of species communities in a particular area is called as ecological succession. I can take this one with respect to animals or with respect to plants also. There should be increase in the population size with respect to a sequential one, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. With respect to gradual ones, that is from 2 it became 3 and from 3 it became 4, not like from 2 it became 8. No, that is the meaning of gradual. And the last one is predictable, which means we can assume that after 1 week or 1 month or 6 months or 8 months or 12 months there is an increase in the population of this much. We can just assume. Right? This is called as ecological succession. In this explanation itself, in this example itself, we have taken the populations of duck, we have taken the populations of frog, we have taken the population of grasshopper. If I combine all these three different populations of different species, it became the communities. And in a particular area, the entire sequence of changes of these different communities, it is called as a word called as seer. I repeat, I have taken only the three examples here. You can include many more examples of different populations of different species also. If there is a growth, increment, change in the population size of any one of the organism, of any one of the species, then it is called as one of the seer. If it is a community which includes so many populations of different species, it is also called as a seer. So what do you mean by seer? Seer is nothing but the sequential changes which are occurring when we combine the entire communities, and that too of that particular area only. Now if we say that from one organism it became 2, this is one transitional change. From 2 it became 4. This is also one of the transitional change. From 4 it became 8, one of the transitional change. So during this area, so in this particular area, if any kind of population got transformed, got transitionally changed in its size or in its weight or in its number or in its community, and that particular community is called as seral community. Dear students, very carefully try to understand these 4-5 sentences, because these will be helpful for your future references also. When I say a community, I think about different species here. About a forest, if I have to consider, in the forest I don't consider only one type of species. I'll be considering so many different species. If I have to make an example of a series of chains, if it is with respect to grasshopper, imagine different varieties of grasshoppers with the huge number of populations which are feeding on the grass in a forest. These forests doesn't show any decline in the concentration of grass, which should become the eatable food for the grasshoppers, which means that grasshoppers are not feeling any hungriness in that forest because they are getting ample amount of food in that forest. So there are frogs, there are birds, and they are also happy. And the happiness is because there are so many number of grasshoppers they can eat. The forest is filled with a lot number of grasshoppers, and these birds and frogs, they are getting a wonderful place to stay. There is an essentiality of water, and that is also filled by the forest itself. And there are so many snakes which can eat up these frogs and birds, and these snakes are also happy. And these snakes having a wonderful habitat in that forest. And there are so many owls also, and these owls are completely dependent on a variety of organisms, and those dependent organisms are also ample in a number, so owls are also very happy. So this kind of environment wherein which so many populations of different organisms or different species constituting a community is present, and this community is in the equilibrium state of the environment. Sir, what is the meaning of equilibrium state? Consider this as the nature's work, consider this as the God's work. I'm not specific to it, but more number of grasses are getting the birth every single day to make or to become food for many number of grasshoppers. Many number of grasshoppers are dying every day and getting birth every day to become food for many of the birds and frogs. And many of the birds and frogs are dying every day and getting birth every day. They become food for the snakes and etc., etc., and the chain continues. If that ecosystem or if that forest is filled with minuses and once again becoming pluses, and plus and once again becoming the minuses, so if there is an increase in the number of grass, increase in the number of consumers, then there is an increase in the number of primary consumers, and from primary consumers there is an increase in the number of secondary consumers, and from the secondary consumers there is an increase in the number of tertiary consumers. The nature or the atmosphere or the environment is completely in the balanced state or in the equilibrium state with the atmosphere, means there is no increase in the number of carnivores than the herbivores. It is a mentality that highest number of herbivores should be present in case of lowest number of carnivores. It is a general tendency. In any of the ecosystem, the nature will be in an imbalanced position only when the carnivores are more than the herbivores. It is a basic thing, and this kind of a community or this kind of variety or group of communities which are nearly equivalent to the environment, they are called as climax community. Are you understanding? Climax community is that kind of community wherein which the group of individual communities are near equivalent to the environment or near equilibrium with the environment. They are doing their own work, they are satisfied with their work, they are getting good amount of food, good amount of water, good amount of shelter, everything is happily with the atmosphere. Even their individual population is also more, they are interacting with the nature as if they do this work each and every day. They do not have any problem in getting the food, water, shelter, etc., etc. This kind of family wherein which it's a routine work with the environment is called as the climax community. And if I consider any community or a population, there are some of the points which should be remembered to reach a climax community. Let us study them one by one. Point number 1. Changes in the diversity of species of the organisms. I said, what is the meaning of diversity? Diversity means distribution of organisms into different places of the area, different places of the forest, different places of that geographical content. Consider place A wherein which some 4 organisms are present of one species, of one population. They increase in their size and became 10. Now from that 10 we say that there is an increase in numbers once again, and from A they shifted their place to B and C and D, wherein which the same organisms of the same species got branched out or differentiated out. Now once again their population is becoming more in B, in C and in D. This kind of population wherein which the family strength is more, wherein which the family distribution in that particular area is more, we say that kind of a population or that kind of a family as the climax family or climax community. So species distribution in that particular area gives us a strength to that particular community, one of the point called as climax community. Point number 2, increase in the number of species and organisms. This point or the previous point, these are not at all specifically connected to only one of the species. We are saying, or the nature is saying, that there is an increase in the individual populations, and if the population increases, of course it means that increase in the number of organisms of that particular species only. If that is dependent on some other organism, which means that other organisms family or the population is also increasing, and if that family is dependent on some more organism, they are also increasing in their population size. So if a community containing 4 to 5 different species, then these increase in the number of population of that particular species gives us the increase in the number of populations of that community. So if I say that that community is strong, which means that the number of organisms are more there. It may be the same species organisms or it may be different species organisms also. So if an organism or if a community wants to reach a climax community, then inside of which the number of population or number of organisms or the population size should have to increase. Right? Let's go to the third point. Increase in the total biomass. A population of organisms wherein which all the organisms are present. Let us take an example. it is a tiger family, and in the tiger family around 10 members are there, and in these 10 members majority of the members are very lean, which means that they are not getting much amount of food in the nature and they become very lean. This is not at all increase in biomass. If the tiger is strong, if the tiger is healthy, if the tiger is very heavy in its weight and all, it means that it is heavy in the biomass. Biomass, that individual weight of that organism. If one tiger having 100 kgs of its weight comparing to 80 kgs of weight or 60 kgs of weight, I say that this has got higher biomass. And if 10 tigers having 100, 120, 150, 200 kgs or 300 kgs of weight, it is called as the highest quantity of biomass. And if any organism is increasing in its weight, what does that mean in the forest rules? That it is getting good amount of food, good amount of shelter, and good amount of water, and good amount of habitat, right? So increase in the total amount of biomass indicates the biggest weight of that family, of that population, of that ecosystem, of that community, etc., etc. So point number 1 to point number 2 to point number 3, all these 3 points explain only one thing, that if any organism wants to reach a climax community which should be equivalent to the equilibrium state, what kind of character should it have to have? Point number 1, that there should be distribution of organisms to different places of that forest or of that place. Point number 2, increase in the number of organisms in that particular community or in the particular population. And third one, increase in the size of that organism so that it can face off the nature's forests, jungles, predators. So dear students, we have reached another section here, and that is types of ecological succession. In case of ecological succession, we see two types. Type number 1 called as primary succession, type 2 secondary succession. We'll try to study individual of these sections one by one. So let us go to the types of ecological sections by taking the first one as the primary succession. Remember, I am telling the word called as a succession in the basic terminologies, that it is increase in the population size, increase in the community size, which can be sequential, which can be gradual, and which can be the predictable. In the end, it should have to increase in its size, population, composition, richness, etc., etc. Now, the first one is primary succession. What do you mean by this? Let us take an example of a bare rock. A rock, a simple rock. Rock in the sense majority of the people having only one idea, since it is a rock, there will not be any kind of growth, and it is not at all any kind of increase in the population of any kind of species. So it is completely nonsense to think about. So rock, will start understanding here. From the natural calamities or from the natural attractions and from the natural behavior, imagine, let us consider some of the points with respect to me here. On the rock, it is a possibility that there is a growth of lichens. Remember lichens, PUC first year, chapter number 2, biological classification, lichens. These lichens are completely dependent organisms. These are dependent on two factors, one as the algae, another one as the fungus. Algae, phycobiont, fungus as the mycobiont, lichens. We know about the lichens. Lichens have a tendency that they can grow onto the surface of rocks. I am saying, go with me. So if there is a possibility that lichens are growing on the surface of rock with respect to atmospheric calamities, atmospheric light, air, water, movement, pollination, etc., etc. This lichen has got a tendency that it can release some of the acids, and these acids help in the breakage of the rock, in weathering of the rock, powdering of the rock, fragmentation of the rock, making pieces of the rock, and from this there is a formation of soil. And when the soil is formed, there is a possibility that onto that particular soil there is a formation of some forms of bryophytes. We've seen bryophytes in our previous year's syllabus. There is a possibility that in that particular soil, there is a possibility of formation of bryophytes, a smaller grasses. They can form there. They can invade that particular area of a soil and they can grow there. And from those particular grasses or those particular bryophytes, it is a possibility that there is a formation of some more forms of the plants such as herbs, shrubs, a smaller lower angiosperms growing into bigger structures called as the higher plants or the higher angiosperms, etc., etc. And in the end, there might be a formation of a bigger structure called as a forest. Dear students, I said that there is a formation of a forest from a single rock. From the general point of view, it's highly impossible to understand or believe. I'm not saying that this happened in only 2 minutes. I'm saying that this happens for the thousands of years. And finally, it reaches to some of the stages called as the forest. And from the forest, if from the rock, if it is becoming a forest like a climatic community having a structure, it is called as primary succession. Dear students, this topic is not easy as you are thinking. It needs broader understanding. I said there is a formation of forest. Before that, so many trees developed. Before that, so many herbs, shrubs developed. Before that, so many smaller grasses developed. And before that, so many very lower classed or lower family having bryophytes developed. And before that, soil is produced. And soil is produced because of the weathering activity of the acids produced by the lichens. And before the lichens, there was a single bare rock. So from this explanation, you can easily understand that there was a development of a large forest from nothing. This is called as the primary succession, from nothing to the impossible larger forest. Primary succession, it begins where no living organism ever existed. It means that from the scratch, it is becoming developed. No living organism ever present that place, in that place, and from that place there is a growth in the organisms, there is a production of organisms, growth in the organisms, increase in the population of organisms, and finally a forest becoming created, and that particular stage is called as the primary succession. As I mentioned that from the scratch it is becoming into a forest, it means that there was no biotic life before this. Of course, the developmental changes, of course, the improvmental changes, of course, the incremental changes will take place in the slower pace. It means that the formation of a forest will be in the slower mode. Try to understand slower mode. In case of primary succession, becoming of or construction of a forest is slow, since there was no biotic community or biotic life ever existed in that place. Some of the examples here: newly cooled lava, bare rock, newly created pond or reservoir. Let us go to point number 2, or another type of succession called as secondary ecological succession. Consider a farmland. Consider there was originally a place wherein which the biotic work was being done. Consider one natural place wherein which biotic and abiotic life was existed. But because of some natural calamities, that place got under fire or under destruction. Now that place got burned down, nothing left, every organism either dead or left the place. Dear students, understand the photo, understand the condition wherein which I am showing a place wherein which the plants were there. But due to some natural calamities, that place got destroyed. Now from this destroyed place, we want to increment this destroyed place to a bigger forest. The previous explanation was nothing was there. From the scratch, there was a creation of the forest. But here, the place was there, but it is it became destroyed because of the natural calamities. Now it is becoming a forest. From the destroyed place to forest. Try to understand. Since all those trees are destroyed by the fire attack, after some time once again those minerals and nutrients and those structures are still present inside the soil surface. Still the roots are there. If and all it rains there, there is a possibility that there is once again the formation of bryophytes, smaller grasses, herbs, shrubs, trees, etc. etc. What we have to understand here is, comparing to primary succession, this becomes or this goes in the faster pace. Now the question is why? In case of primary succession, nothing was there and from that place everything was built on. So it took time. But here life was existed. That life knew how actually to survive in this condition. So if at all it is getting some of the nutrients, water and etc., it can regrow once again. So secondary succession is fast as comparing to primary succession, because there is the presence of soil and that soil already contains so many nutrients in it, right? So the formation of the bigger forest or the succession will be very faster as comparing to primary succession. Dear students, I hope you are understanding the difference between primary succession and the secondary succession. I told you primary from nothing to a forest, secondary succession from a destroyed place to a forest. Coming to another types, different types of these successions. Next topic is a succession of plants. It is of two types. Type number 1, hydrarch succession and xerarch succession or xeric succession. Question number 1, sir, what is the meaning of hydrarch succession of the plants? As I explained from the previous 20-25 minutes that there is an increase in the number of population of organisms to become a higher climatic structure, a climatic community or climax community called as the succession. And if it is occurring in case of plants, means of course there is an increase in the population of the plants, increase in the number of plants, increase in the wide variety of species of the plants. But the word is connected to hydrarch. The word is connected to xerarch or xeric. Sir, what is the meaning of hydrarch? What is the meaning of xerarch? And what is the meaning of mesic? Hydrarch, the organisms which are present inside or in the surface or in the atmosphere of water, organisms living in the water, they are called as the hydric plants, hydric animals, hydric conditions. Hydric plants means the plants which are living in the water, which are making habitat as the water, which are growing and increasing their population and doing all those activities in the water. They are called as hydrarch conditioned organisms. Hydrarch plants means the plants which are living in that place only. What is the meaning of xerarch plants or xerarch organisms or xeric organisms, etc., etc.? So xeric are those conditions wherein which the concentration of water is zero or not at all present, or if it is present, it is very lowest in concentration. Let us consider as an example of a desert. So desert is a place which is the bestest example for xeric condition. So if I have to say about xeric animal, an animal which is located, which is present, which lives, which is having its own family in the highest temperature and lowest water conditions, they are called as xeric organisms. Animal, plant. Xeric plant, I can give an example of cactus. Xeric animal, I can give you an example of the camel. If the organisms are located, living, maintaining their life in these habitats, they are called as xeric conditions. I hope you are understanding, students. Hydric organisms, xeric organisms. Let us come to the next section called as mesic conditions. So what is the meaning of mesic condition? The condition wherein which the organism does not feel that there is lowest quantity of salt. Yes, good amount of salt is present. The condition wherein which the organism feels that there is no amount of nutrients. No, the nutrients are very well conditioned here. The condition wherein which the organism feels that there are no minerals, there are no nutrients, there are no facilities, there are not at all salts present, etc., etc. This is the place wherein which All these points are present in the ample quantities. It may be with respect to minerals, it may be with respect to the nutrients, it may be with respect to salts, it may be with respect to organic and inorganic salts, etc., etc. All these are in good amounts, and it is called as the mesic condition. Conversion of the hydric condition to mesic condition is called as hydrarch succession of plants. Conversion of the xeric conditions to mesic condition, they are called as the xeric succession of the plants. Hydric to mesic is called as hydrarch succession. Xeric to mesic is called as the xeric succession. Since it is with respect to plants, the explanation is hydrarch succession of the plants and xerarch or xeric succession of the plants. I told you what is the meaning of hydrarch, what is the meaning of xerarch, and what is the meaning of mesic. Pause the video and watch it again and again. You'll get an idea. Alright, let us go to a final explanation of this topic, and that is primary succession in water and primary succession on rocks. Let us study the differences one by one and this topic gets over. So dear students, we have already discussed about all these things, but we'll take slowly. We'll try to understand and make it possible and try to make it easier. Okay, right. Observe the table from point number 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll discuss. Right. So first one. In case of primary succession of the water, the pioneer species are the phytoplanktons. Sir, what is the meaning of pioneer species here? What are pioneer species? The organisms which invade a bare area, they are called as the pioneer species. The organisms who are present earlier in that area, they are called as pioneer species. If a place got created, if a city got created, if a town got created, if a village got created, who were the first organisms? They are called as pioneer species. If an institution got created, who were the first people who created this institution? They are called as pioneer members. If a pond is created, who were the first organisms who were present in that pond are called as the pioneer species. So in case of primary succession, we talk about from scratch to bigger forest. So that was a bare area, nothing was present. And in that nothing present area, if any organism comes and starts its life activities, becomes the member of that area, those first organisms are called as the pioneer members. So primary succession in water, the first primary members or the first major respected members, they are called as the pioneer species, and here they are called as the phytoplanktons. I told it in the previous videos also what are the meaning of planktons. Planktons are nothing but the floating organisms, and if it is with respect to plants, we say that they are called as the phytoplanktons. Of course, try to understand the life is starting from the plants only here, and these phytoplanktons are called as the pioneer species in the construction of a larger pond ecosystem or a larger river ecosystem, wherein which it is in equilibrium with the nature, right? So in case of the succession, primary succession in water, the primary or the pioneer species will be the phytoplanktons. But in case of the primary succession on rocks, the primary or the pioneer species will be lichens. I told you in my previous explanation, right? Going to the next point of this explanation, these phytoplanktons, with respect to their growth, with respect to improvement, with respect to advancement, these are replaced by the other organisms. They are also floating organisms, and these may be belonging to the group of bryophytes, to the group of gymnosperms, to the group of angiosperms, etc., etc. It is a gradual increase, it is a sequential increase, it is a predictable increase. Okay, phytoplanktons were there. Now in the phytoplanktons there is an increment in the organisms or species population. We call that one as the floating, free floating angiosperms. Okay, In case of primary succession of rocks, we can say that these lichens release some of the acids which results in the weathering or powdering of those particular rocks and results in the formation of the soil. In case of the primary succession in the water, after the angiosperms, there is a formation of small amounts of grasses, sedges. There are also a form of grasses only. Some rooted structures. In case of rocks, we are seeing the formation of bryophytes in the presented or produced soil. In case of the water, when finally phytoplanktons, from that bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, trees and those organisms which are living in the water, I am saying, when the trees are formed, we say that the climax community has been reached. In case of the rock condition, when the bryophytes too, the pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms got created, then we say that the climax community is produced. Finally, in case of water, this aquatic habitat results in the formation of a mesic habitat, and this xerophytic habitat results in the formation of a mesic habitat. Pause this video, go to the differences once again, try to see it once again. You'll get an idea. Majority of the biology topics are the easiest topics in the nature to understand, but still it contains highest number of topics which cannot be understandable in only one shot. Take your time. It needs a broader sense of understanding. But finally, at the end, before leaving, I say that from scratch, from nothing to a bigger structure called as a tree or a stable community or a climax community called as the succession. It is happening in the nature called as ecological succession.